What's up, YouTube? This is the PSY-Frame Duels coming at you guys with a belated PSY-Frame deck profile. So this one is, of course, still going to be PSY-Frames, but I've been taking kind of a hiatus because I've noticed some problems with my channel and my deck profiles, at least with my most recent one. My most recent deck profile, I realized I'm sacrificing a good PSY-Frame deck from content. Like I put the last one up just so I could try to meet my own deadline of a month per deck, and I didn't like that. And so I decided to hold off on making PSY-Frame content, restructure my deck, figure out what I did wrong, fix it, and then make another PSY-Frame deck profile. And also I went to the Seattle Regional last Saturday, so I was also hiding from that because I wanted to not spoil what I was running. That ended when I realized I went 4-4 at that tournament, and was like, oh, I need to change this deck up. I was running the Grave PSY-Frame shenanigans, but realized that that's not... It didn't work out so well. So I'm trying to make this more about the PSY-Frame engine itself than the multi-threader effects. Anyways, let's get into it. So to start off the main deck, you obviously run 3 drivers because driver is just so good. And you need them at 3 because multi-threader doesn't count in deck, so you gotta have the drivers just in case. And I played one time where I accidentally left one of my drivers at home in a tournament in a locals, and I just saw how bad it is when drivers only at 2 in the deck, especially even if you have multi-threader. So I put my drivers at 3, so he's at 3 right now. Next up, we run 2 multi-threader because she counts as driver and can protect my stuff from Zodiac Tridents and other things that pop my stuff. So I gotta protect them. So she's a good search out for her. We still run the usual 3 alphas. 3's good. We run 3 betas because beta is still an attack stopper, and that's still good in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, so that's fine. Still run 3 deltas. It's funny to stop all kinds of really asshole-ish spell cards with delta and make people very sad. So delta's still at 3. Oh, sorry about that extra deck. Gamma's at 3 because he's a PSY-Frame and he's really good. Next up, we run 3 card because card is good and everything. Now, for right now, that's it for the monster lineup. I'm not running the Max C in here because the Max C at 1 is more of a Luxac card than anything, and I'm trying to avoid main decking too many Luxac cards in this deck. Mostly because I don't want, if you get it late game, more than likely the push has already been done, so Maxi at that point may get you 1 draw, maybe 2 if you're lucky, but the big 5 draws like what Zodiac do at the beginning won't happen during the middle of the game, when they're going for their draw 7 cards, that's not going to happen mid to late game. That's only going to happen early game. So Maxi isn't really good. I'm thinking about teching something like Sangan and a Dark Hole to try to turbo out the Max Cs, or maybe a Retaliating C. I have some of those I can try. But I still need to test with those before I decide to make any decisions right now. And so as for right now, I'm just leaving it out of the deck entirely until I get that all squared away. Moving on to the spell cards, you run 3 of the field spell PSY-Frame Circuit because it's the heart and soul of the deck, and this deck has a very tough time winning without it. So, and if you're against Zodiac, don't immediately just play down your circuit, because they're just going to go into, or if they already have a Trident established, or they're going to go into a Trident, they're just going to pop it, and it's going to be a sad day for you if you can't stop it from happening. So unless you have a Gamma in hand, don't play down your circuits immediately if you're against Zodiacs. You want to hold on to your circuits till you have a Gamma, and then once you have a Gamma, then you play down your circuit, so when they try to go end phase pop, you can go end phase Gamma and just negate their stuff and destroy it, and then circuit will help you synchro. So that's what I learned against Zodiacs. Next up, we run triple pot of duality. So for right now, that's how it is. Triple duality, all good. I might think about putting in desires once it comes out in the megatins. We'll just have to see. Oh yeah, side note, PSY-Frames are still going to be good even after Link format takes over, because of the ruling about how Omega comes back to the main monster board and not the extra monster zone, meaning that it doesn't interfere at all, and the Link monsters don't have a defense and cannot be in defense position, meaning they will always 100% be a target for Zeta, no matter what. And so that is just superb in my opinion. Next up, we run 3 of the field zones, because in this deck you're not guaranteed to get your field spell, and so when you don't get your field spell, Field Zone is the next best card to get you to your synchros. But yeah. Next up, we run 1 Upstart Goblin, because I'm trying to turbo out this deck as much as possible. And this is for a mid to late game card, but I'm running 1 more Soul Charge. I took it out for a little bit, but I'm putting it back in, seeing what it'll do. It's like I had just put it in not long ago. Still haven't tested with it yet, but I'm going to try and see how it looks. And since my deck's synchro based, I'm sure this card can't hurt me in that big of a sense. Especially since if I have multi-threader engrave, I can only pay 1,000. Still same with stuff, but instead of paying 2,000 to get a synchro, I can just pay 1,000. And then multi-threader will summon from grave, and then that will work that way. Next up, we run triple of the overloads, because overload is like the best spot removal card in this deck in the game right now. So we run triple overloads. That's never going to change. Next up, we run triple drowning. You can swap that out for burying if you want, or sandstorm I mean, or whatever it's called nowadays. If you want to play budget, but I decided to spend the money on it, so I'm going to main it. And it's always good for direct attacks, because you never have monsters on your side of the field anyways. This is a card that I'm very happy about, and that's Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light. I've been putting in this card ever since it first came out in the movie packs, when I realized what it does in grave. Because if they try to attack, you just flip it, pay 1,000, stop the attack. If they destroy it, just banish it from grave and stop any direct attacks, then use Omega to put it back in the grave, and then keep doing that and keep bouncing your Omegas out so they can't attack you directly ever. That's a great combo. And last but not least, we run 2 of the Solemn Strikes. Not running the warning. I might want to put it in, but as for right now, I just got 2 strikes. I might even bump this up to 3 strikes, and I might add a warning, but I don't know if I'm going to need that many negates in the upcoming format. So that's the main deck. My battery's about to die, so I'm trying to move on as fast as I can. Let's go on to the extra deck. So in the extra deck, we're running 1 Overmind Archfiend. That part's obvious, it's always in here. And we're running 1 Crystal Wing, because if I already have a Zeta established, I can Soul Charge for 1, and then I can go into Crystal Wing, so that's fine. 2 Zetas, or 2 Omegas I mean, because Omega is great, and you don't need more than 2. But that's fine. I might end up taking this out, but I run 1 Yazi for Magispectors, because it beats over all their stuff and can't be targeted by any of the Magispector stuff. 2 Zetas, like I said, he's great when Link format takes over. That's all good. 1 Psychic Life Chancer, because she helps you in time, she wins you the game in time, and not much needs to be said after that. One Black Rose Dragon, because Black Rose is just amazing, and it board wipes very successfully. And going on to the XCs, I run one of the 7 Sins, because the 7 Sins is just amazing as a game ender. You go into it with Pain Gainer, and from Pain Gainer you go into it from Gimmick Puppet, the Giant Grinder one, with 2 Omegas. And if you need to detach 2 for the 7 Sins, you can detach the 2 Omegas and get their grave effects immediately, so that's why I do it that way. I run 1 Hope Harbinger just in case. I run Big Eye for if I get 2 Zetas on the field, which is very common actually, and it's actually won me a game against Blue Eyes one time where I took his Blue Eyes and attacked him directly for the win. And the last card, which is 4 Zodiacs, I run Elder Entity Norden. That's not for me, that's because in my side deck I run Winter Cherries, and this is the best target against Zodiacs right now. I had Dryden in because of it, but I swapped out for Norden when Ratpier got limited, because Dryden is no longer the best target and Elder Entity Norden is, because that's their combo playmaker. Without Norden, like, it's almost as if it's banned on the ban list to them when you Winter Cherries it. I'm not going to show off my side deck, but just to also mention, I do have Totally Awesome in my side decks for the Paleo matchup, so I'm good there. Sorry for rushing through it at the very end here, but thank you for watching YouTube. This is a PSY-Frame Duelist, signing out.